This is the third best post-race show, brought to you by Broke Amateur Racing, sponsored by RMX Series. We're at the last round, season finale at Rupert, Idaho, Minnetonka County Fairgrounds. Tomato. Minnetonka. I like it better that way, so that's what it is. We're going to talk about the round here, and then talk a little bit about championships that were wrapped up today. I guess let's get right in. We got Riley Bruff, Brandon Susi, Pud. We got McCoy Bruff, Gary Bruff with RMX, myself, Chase Adams. So let's talk about track prep conditions, what was new, how long this track's set, all those sorts of things, Riley.
Yeah, so besides a couple of, I think, Wednesday night practices, it's pretty much sat since we were here in May, more or less. Basically typical Rupert, I would say. Wasn't as rough for some reason. I don't know. Didn't feel quite as rough to me. Exit chop and stuff like that wasn't near as bad as Rupert usually gets. One unique thing was the stall clean out, the straw and everything that we added to the track. I wish we would have known that it was going to do what it did and put, I don't know, endless amounts of it over the entire track, because it just like softened the dirt up and
it was different, really, really good. For sure. Yeah. Friday was like, whoa.
Right.
So you kind of had to just take it easy, and then you kind of get a new feel for it. Mm-hmm. We don't have much of that with RMX, right? Straw and mulch.
Yep. But I kind of was afraid that it was going to be like when you do mulch, like wood chips and stuff, it kind of just sits on the top of the dirt and just gets kind of slick and weird. And I was afraid that it was going to do that, but it blended right with the dirt and made the dirt awesome. Like, we need to cover the track in that stuff next time, I think.
And you guys got a giant pile sitting in the infield?
Yeah, pretty decent size. So, I thought the track was good, pretty typical Rupert. And
ruts were good. I mean, there was a ton of them, and like you said, it really wasn't that rough, which I enjoyed, because I could actually kind of move around and not just typical Rupert is just bumps from SpongeBob to SpongeBob, track marker.
Yeah, you're just locked into the rut the whole time. Like, it was. And I don't really have the answer to why it was that way. I mean, we put lots of water down. I mean, the ruts were good and everything. It just didn't get that rough for whatever reason.
Yeah, so the ruts were deep.
Not a bad thing.
And good, like you said, just not the bumps.
Yep.
I think to clarify, when you guys say rough, like a lot of times parents see a rut, and that's rough. But you're not referring to a rut. You're referring to the breaker bumps, the chop leading up to the ruts.
Yes.
And the chop coming out.
Yeah.
And so, the ruts were still here. Mm-hmm. It was just the chop was different. And I do think part of that is, over the years, Curtis Holmes had put a lot of what you're referring to as stall cleanouts is simply the fair just happened here at Minnetonka County Fairgrounds. It's Minnetonka. And it's everything that just came from the fair. So you've got wood chips, sawdust, some organic material, and they left us big piles of it, and we put it on the track. So I think what we saw, we need to do more of that going into next year, because it definitely softens up the dirt, and I think with the breaker bumps, the chop will come back, which adds separation, because it was getting a little tight.
Yep.
But where we got it in thick, it was a lot better, for sure.
Yeah, it kept the track like spongy, and it did get bumpy, rough in those sections. Like, it's everywhere else got kind of hard, kind of quick, and it was a positive. I thought that it was going to be a little bit weird. I thought that every section that we put the mulch in was going to be weird, and it turned out to be awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah, the overall prep, I feel like you can change one little bump at Rupert, and it changes like the next two sections, right? It's the way that you hit that bump affects you in the next corner, which affects you in the next straightaway.
Yeah.
And every time it's groomed by someone different, maybe a lip being 6 inches higher or lower just makes that section different. So Rupert hasn't changed in years, but I don't think it's ever the same when you show up here.
Yeah,
it's rarely the
accurate.
same.
Yeah, between both split sections, any weekend or any day, any moto, really, you could go on either side of the splits. And
the fast line is always different every time. Yeah.
Yeah, so overall, I mean, track prep went well, and the weather, like, we've had some rough Ruperts over the years, so whether it's a snowstorm or triple digits or 25-mile-an-hour winds. We had a little bit of a breeze in the afternoons, but not much.
Yeah.
In fact, we probably would have liked one on Sunday because it was just kind of started to get a little bit hot. But Friday and Saturday were some of the best days that I've experienced in Rupert, and we've been up here for coming up on, or probably more than 10 years. So, all in all, it was a really good week, good weekend. Track prep went well. Weather was good.
The back rollers were a little bit rolled off, a little smaller.
Yeah, more of whoops this time than doubling through or jumping through them, you know.
Right. So Friday me and Sam, whatever, we were jumping through. I don't know what you guys were doing, but then Saturday and Sunday it was cool to actually just hammer through them and then time your hopping out at the last.
Yeah, and that goes to what he's saying about the track always being different, even though it's the same. I've always got just from my personal experience, I've always come over that anthill in second gear so that I have the torque to 2, 3, and then get my way the rest of the way through them. And this time, it took me most of the day Saturday to realize that I needed to click third and pack the front end all the way through them. So it was just it was cool that was a lot different. But yeah, I don't know.
You guys got some new track crew?
Yeah, so Tiancum Dumar handled, a lot of the dozer work, and Pud, Brandon Susi, did the two of them. It was just the two of them. I never even gotten a dozer other than touching up one lip midday, and that was just one that deteriorated, and these two were on their bikes, so I helped out. But Pud and Tiancum did all the dozer work. The rollers, T built up that anthill going in, so the roller was taller. The little shelf that was there, he took away so that you went all the way down to grade and then got on top of the rollers. So I think that might have been part of it too, is not only did he maybe blade those so they weren't as deep, but the setup was different. It wasn't like you dropped into it harsh. You came all the way down to grade on the off of the anthill, and then it allowed you to get on top of them and stay on top of them. Mm-hmm. So I think part of it might have not only been the depth or the height of the rollers, but the first setup whoop was different than the way it usually is.
Yeah, a little small. The very first one was a little smaller, and it was taller, and I've never seen it get those braking bumps so deep that almost everyone was jumping. Like they were seat bouncing over that anthill.
Yeah.
And then
the chop coming down it must have got some loose material from getting changed.
Right.
And it got some chop for sure.
It was cool just watch everyone just come super tight, sitting down, hopping over it, and then just hammering. Yep. I thought that was neat.
But that's the cool part. You change one little feature, and it changed the entire dynamic of the next lane.
Right.
It's honestly, I mean, I'm curious to were the whoops really deeper or shallower from May, or was the entrance into them different, and so you rode them different? Did you really, stuff like that? I mean, it's it's so unique. I mean, I do think they were a little bit shallower, and it did allow some different things, but it's just cool how Curtis Holmes laid this out years ago. Some different people have tweaked it, but at the end of the day, just keeping what Curtis has always wanted, which was to kind of keep you on your toes.
Yeah.
You don't just get a rest here at all. Is there anywhere that you get to take a deep breath?
No.
I mean, there's very limited spots I can pull a tear off.
Right.
And I'm like, nope, next corner. I'm like, God.
Yeah.
It's
cool.
Yeah. There's no brakes whatsoever. Yeah. I mean, and it's not only is there no brakes, but it is a full sprint the whole time, because if you let up for 1 second, the guy in front of you is gone, or the guy behind you is breathing down your neck. There's no, you cannot let up here, not even a little bit. And so as soon as I don't know why this track exaggerates mistakes so bad, but you dab your foot or you screw up a rut or you miss a rhythm in the whoops or whatever, and the guy in front of you is gone. And I don't feel like that happens at any other track, and I don't really know why that is, but it's a crazy place. It's intense.
Yeah, that could be kind of like what Gary was saying, right? Hey, you mess up or hit one bump different, it follows you for 2 sections. You just have to just get in that flow and not mess up.
Yeah. You got anything, Coy?
The guys that look like they're going fast are not. Like you look at they look like, I mean, they are moving the bike and their shoulders are moving and their hips are moving and like it looks super cool and they're revved to the moon, and you look at their lap time and you're like, huh. And then Gray Davenport's out there just not even is he just on a Sunday trail ride? And then all of a sudden you look at his lap times and he's the fastest guy on the course. Like This is one of those, you cannot override your bike. You've just got to be smooth and not make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when he lapped me, I didn't even hear him. I think he just came in so hot and pulled his clutch and just didn't even throttle or brake, just went right around me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, there he is. All right.
Yep.
So we want to get into some race discussion, weekend highlights, championships that were wrapped up. Riley, I think you got a couple of results over there.
Yeah, I do. I will start. If someone else wants to grab results and take a peek, whoever wants to, whatever. I say this every show. I see bits and pieces because we're all bouncing around so much. I saw two things, maybe more than two. For one, I saw Luke Daniels impresses the hell out of me. I cannot get enough of him. He hole shots. He's got way older kids behind him, and he leads like half of the moto, and he eventually gives it up because I think he gets kind of outsmarted or outwitted or whatever. But he is so freaking fun to watch. And then second in points in 85 All-Star behind Cohen Jackman. So on the year for Luke Daniels. So that right there is what I'm saying.
This is back to the whole. He's 9.
He's 9 years old. He's on an 85.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's fun to watch. I get confused because one of the T-Rex bikes comes cruising around, and you're thinking, oh, Davis has got a good moto going, and then you're like, nope, that's Luke, that's little brother.
Yep, and then Davis and Austin Hyde, and they all have to try to figure out how to get around him because he got to start and he's hanging on, and it's super super fun to watch for me.
If you're talking 85s, I mean, I know we don't ever have a plan or a schedule, but like stay on 85s. Look at what's happened there. I mean, it is cool what Luke is doing as a 9-year-old. But then you look at 85s and super minis, and you start looking at results, Coy. You've got the Cohen Jackman. I mean, he won motos. Crew Kenton won motos and championships. Cohen won motos and championships. Trini wins. Trini Bachelor wins motos and championships. But I'm pretty sure Austin Hyde might have won a Triple Crown. Like, that's a little dude that was 85 beginner 2 years ago.
I think that he did, and the only reason why I know that is I saw his dad, Kevin, giving him hand signals in that last moto. I saw him 3 more passes, 2 more passes, 1 more passes, so I'm assuming that was for a championship. So I had my eye on that in the last moto, and he did it, and that was part of the Luke thing that I saw. Luke was out front. That was a crazy battle in that last 85 moto. It was Luke Daniels, Davis Daniels, Austin Hyde, and I just spaced who the last guy was. Elijah Davis, I think, maybe. But it was a really good battle, and I think Austin got the passes made that he needed to do and got the championship.
Yeah, it is. Like 85cc All-Star, Austin Hyde, Cohen Jackman, Trinity Bachelor, Luke Daniels, Carson Gearhart. So there's your top 5. Cohen Mortensen, little 522.
Riding really, really
like,
good.
That little boy was beginner rider not too long ago.
Yep.
So, I mean, he just took 6th in 85 All-Star. So, yeah, Austin Hyde, props to that little guy. And it looks like that was close, 304 points versus 297 with Jackman. So he had to, looking at that, I'll bet Kevin was coaching him along because he finished 4th overall on the day. And he needed every point to make that happen because that was a 7-point swing between him and Cohen Jackman.
Because he had Trini between Cohen and him.
Yeah,
in that last
yeah,
moto.
he had Trini in the mix there that was causing him havoc. So, yeah, that is cool. Like that 85 group, we've said it all year long. Like we could talk about, you could do the entire show about 85s.
Yeah.
It was cool watching them over the doubles here right in front of our pits, and it looked like Elijah Davis 413, right?
Yeah.
And then Cohen Jackman were having a long jump contest. I mean, they were stretching it straight up and down like old school Barsha style, just all the way into the braking bumps. It was cool, man.
Yeah.
Those kids were sending it.
It's that group is impressive. Yeah, that's and you hate to just stop there. I mean, because you could go so deep. I mean, you start looking at 10th place, Weston Gearhart. 15th place, Cruz White. 20th, Jet White. I mean, just jumping around. I mean, these are guys that they do well. Parker Miller, I mean, he missed around, but 17th in the Triple Crown. Dagan Radden's in there. Eisen Johnson, Rylan Moses, another Daniels and Davis Daniels. Tyven Phillips had the big crash at Delta and missed 3 weeks with just concussion issues. But Tyven had good rides. I mean, Kinsley Jackman is in there. Camden Eicher, Riken Durham, like that whole group. Like again, you could make the entire show about 85s, but I think at the end of the day, from what I saw, Cohen Jackman this weekend, was moving, and so was Crew Kenton.
Yeah,
Crew had a good week.
Yes,
like that was cool for him.
Yep.
And to see Austin get a championship out of this weekend is cool.
I don't know if he did. He was second in 85, 12 to 15 behind Parker Miller, which is impressive for sure.
Or you can just look at the sheet.
I
that
thought
I'm
you
looking
said
at.
Triple Crown. You said he got a Triple Crown championship. So okay. So
See, paper's way cooler than technology.
All Star. Okay. I was looking at Saturday classes. 12 to 15, he was second behind Parker Miller, which is impressive.
Again, the whole class, like every single name, it could win championships with RMX, and probably has if we looked them up. I mean, that's probably Austin's first, but like Parker Miller's won championships with us. Cohen Jackman has. Trinity has. We were missing Gray Townsend, Dan and Reed, but they both, Dan and won championships last year.
Mm-hmm.
Gray was down at Paula riding amateur days. There is a fast group of 85s around here. So we can't tie up the entire show about 85s. So we can either use these paper results in front of us, or we can pull up some more technology and see what we got. Paper? You want to go with paper?
Yeah.
Is that because your name's on it?
No, mine's not on this one.
Oh, okay.
No, this is Fast Guys. This is 450A and 450B. I watched this one yesterday. It was freaking sweet. Gray, Davenport, Riley, and McCoy. And that first moto was intense. I mean, how long was that? 15, 16 minutes of just back and forth and all over, reeling them in. And yeah, one time right there, the double-doubles, Coy finally got around Gray, I saw. And then Gray just kind of like turned in, accelerated straight by, and yeah, just no
Dude's
chest
a freaking
protector.
animal.
I don't even think he puts tear-offs on.
Yeah.
He does not want to be behind
He's
anyone.
wearing spy goggles from like 05 or
Right.
something. There's no way they even make tear-offs for
Right.
this.
No, you can't find him anymore.
I can't even.
Something.
You can't be mad getting passed by Gray, because if you watched moto around when I grew up, I'm getting passed by my hero pretty much.
Right.
Like you can't get mad.
No. Yeah, and you guys are all awesome, and he just lugs it along.
I don't think he lost a moto all weekend, did he?
No,
Did
No.
you ever beat him? I never
No,
beat him.
Couldn't put it together.
I just
Won
knocked
every
him out.
moto.
Coy and I were talking about it last night. Coy, was thinking he kind of ran it up the inside of him off of the double doubles, and Gray just checked up like it was an arena cross and squared him off, and just blew his doors off down the straightaway. I'm pretty sure Gray he's not going to break until he's got a wheel on you.
No, he would. You won't outbreak him coming into a corner.
He comes into the first turn yelling, and if Gray's yelling, you're gonna get ran over if you don't move.
Yeah. I mean, it is. We've said it, show and show again. It is super cool to have Gray Davenport out here, and he brings his little boy Maddox. So, it is cool. And Maddox is another one of those that says thank you when you pick him up. So, good job, Gray.
Yep.
Then we got 450B. Gage Wilcox going 2-1 for the overall. Cam Horner 1-2. Hayden Morgan 4-3. Casey Clinton is back with a 3-4. Sophia Phelps down here in 6, 7-6 overall. That is the fastest woman in America. I'm calling it. Just because I like her.
Might be.
I think that's fair.
She really might be.
Yeah. So they were all battling. I think Cam said he got to the back of Wilcox. I think Wilcox got that start in the second moto. and Cam kind of followed him around and tucked it right after the long start straight. That one inside rut before that double, it was tricky. It was just because it seemed like it had 4 or 5 like small shallow ruts and then went right into a somewhat deep one. So you just had to not lean too early. You had to be patient.
Yep.
I think it kind of bit him on that one, but yeah, both 59 points in that one.
Hayden got the Hayden Morgan got that new Honda 22, right? He has the 250F, and I thought that's as good as I've seen Hayden ride.
Yeah,
like he was
on
moving. He had the crash and tore a lot of skin out of his forearm, and I don't even know the number of stitches that he had to get, but Gage and Cam were split the 2-1-1-2, but Hayden, he was right there. He was rolling, and then good. Casey Clinton surprised me. Like, I thought it was going to take longer to get back up to pace, but if Casey is up to this pace in 2 weeks of riding, it's coming.
Yeah, he's on his way back and being better than he was before, for sure. He's a talented dude, super smooth. His form never slips, ever, and I think that's helping him a ton.
Yeah, he's strong. Like, if you see him off the bike, he's fit for sure. And then you see it on the bike because his elbows never drop.
Mm-hmm.
Pud, you want to talk about plus 20?
What do you want to talk about that race?
You just not leaving me alone. And then, that was today, the radiator.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was today.
Oh, that was the Keaton pace thing.
That was a little Keeter pace. He went for a ride down the straightaway.
That was intense, man.
It was more of a flight.
Flight.
It never even kicked out. He was just in the air.
Just full spring to the moon.
Yeah, luckily he only got a broken collarbone because that was dirty. And you're dodging.
Chase has
Can
left.
I ask a question? He broke his collarbone.
Yeah.
He got up and finished.
Well, he got up and seat bounced that double.
Yeah.
And landed and goes, and then he kind of rode off the track. And then I think he went over to the finish. I think he didn't even know. He was all just dirt all down the side. Seat bounces and lands and goes, oh. And then I think he rode over to the finish and then waited with Mason, who was also in a sling, swapped his throttle from the right hand to the left hand so he could get his points.
He swapped out in the rollers on Friday.
Yeah.
And had a bad AC separation, so that's what happened to Old Moose.
So I was kind of hoping they'd both show up today and race with left-hand throttles and battle it out for championship points.
For those that don't know, like, Mason really did. He put his throttle on the clutch side, which had it obviously turning underhanded or the wrong way, and he was riding with one hand, and he'd go off the start and then go across and got his points. Like, I tried to ride from the motorhome to sign-ups with my coffee with one hand, and it didn't work. Like, it was flat. So props to Moose for what he did, because, one-handed. But Keaton Pace broke his collarbone in that crash.
Yeah.
Because we helped him. He got up, he rode away, he jumped the double. I was like, wow, he got lucky. I had no idea he did that with a broken collarbone.
Yeah, I thought when I saw it right in front of me, I thought he was going on a backboard. It was so fast and violent. And then I see the video of him doubling out, and I'm like, this guy is unbreakable. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Bonus for him, he told me that he's a salesman for a company that makes braces and slings. So I think he should be pretty
squared
good
away.
There. Yeah.
Yeah, that was intense down the straight.
But yeah, old Chase here, he ended up with the overall, went 1-2, and then Braxton May,
that kid's quick.
When he shows up, he goes fast.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
I had nothing for him second moto.
I know you're talking plus 20, but did anyone see Braxton May's little boy, 149?
Yeah.
Just he
seems like an awesome kid.
Yeah,
He had some great lines out there.
Unbelievable line choice. Like, that is that little dude. Like, I want to meet that little guy because he talked to us out there, and Riley was in black flag gear, and someone else was in black flag gear, Pud, and he wanted to know why only the black guys help him pick up his bike and not the green guys. Because Coy was in green gear and apparently didn't help him. The flaggers.
Yeah, so flaggers just flag. The guys in the yellow shirts or green shirts. Green guys don't pick you up, only the black ones.
Yeah. And he's just talking to you in the middle of his moto, and then he crashed once coming off of the start, and there was a little dude in the rut behind him, and he turned around and told the kid, "You're going to have to wait for me. I can't start my bike." So he went and told his competitor, "Hey, sorry, man. You're going to sit here for a second. I can't start my bike." And I was in the middle of starting his bike just dying laughing. So, yeah. But, yeah, May rip starts and rolls. It's fun having him and his dad around.
Yeah. And also, Sam was in there too. But why is there a DNS in the first moto?
He decided not to ride because he was so tired. Big boy got real sleepy.
Oh.
And then Kirk with Let's Ride brought my new bike, and I said, just go put a heat cycle on it. And so he went and rode my new bike around. And
Oh, okay.
yeah, so if it breaks in the future, it's warranted under Sam Squanch.
Nice. But yeah,
That explains the entire confusion of, do we have to have transponders when we race?
I didn't even think about it, Gary. He just said, take this out. I was like, okay, whatever.
I figured they'd just say, just get out. It's like at the end of the day, just go. We don't
There
care.
was massive confusion about Sam and a transponder, and he has to have a transponder, and then they went to assign him a transponder, but there was already a number assigned to him, so now he had 2 transponders. So if you don't return those, it's $200. Do we have confirmation?
Brittany? Where's Brittany's gone?
Yeah, well, you might want to make sure you have a receipt. Plus 20 Open's always a good time.
It's fun, man.
yeah. I mean, for me, this weekend, it was kind of cool. Logan Halford, when I first started racing, I don't know, back in 07, Logan was really into it, riding pretty good, super fast, and for in Idaho Falls and stuff. And it was cool to see him come out this weekend. He had his kids in the Pw50 class, and he was out there riding, so that was cool. And that's just a class for older dudes that used to race, took a few years off, and it's just fun. No one wants to die. Not going to get cleaned out by a 16-year-old.
You might get killed by Keaton.
There's no T-birds out there. Well, I don't know. Keeter pace.
How old is
he goes
T-Bird?
hard.
Next
He keeps
year?
it interesting.
Okay, everyone's safe for 2 years.
2 more years, we're safe. All right, Gary, you want to talk about one of these? Put this one in front of you just so you could.
Which
rip
one?
Women.
Sure. So, wait a minute. Where is Phelps? DNS 1? Did she just miss the moto? Just not paying attention? Okay. So, the fastest.
Kind of a track record.
Yeah, that happens at Rupert. Happened to Hymus.
Almost
It happened
to
to Phelps
I
at
had
the
a headset on.
GP,
Oh, yeah, she did.
and she ripped through the pack.
The coolest part about that is the national anthem was playing, and everyone that was late just hustled to get down there, and she stopped and took off her helmet and waited for the national anthem, not realizing that the gate dropped the second the national anthem was over with, and missed her gate drop. So she came from last to first at the Grand Prix, which is super cool. So it looks like it did not start in a 1, but Destiny Burgess won 2. She's going on that 125. That's impressive.
She's moving.
Sienna Brown just got her a 125, so she's going as well. And Tressa Rao, 3-4, went to Loretta's in the +40 class and out here banging bars with the younger girls. Samantha Simpson went 4-5. So her little brother is working for us. Ryan's down in the first corner running the banner. 85 beginners are just ripping the banner out of his hand left and right. But the Simpson family is helping us. Ryan helps us, I think, every race this year. So it's cool, and that's his sister out there, Samantha. Madison Simpson went 6-12. She had a big crash and broke her collarbone. So those results are a little mixed up, but it's cool. There was 13 women out there this weekend, so
And
that's impressive.
Yeah.
6 of those women were at Loretta's, right?
Whew.
Because they're both Simpsons.
Yeah.
Just one
Burgess,
Simpson?
Brown, Rao, one Simpson, Ashenbrenner. We're all out there. Phelps, yeah. There's 6 of the 13 girls were at Loretta's.
Mhm.
That's impressive.
Killer.
yeah, it's just a good group. It's cool that they're here, and hopefully that just keeps growing and growing. And you still have to go all the way back to Amanda Mayhew and Taylor Allred. Like, those girls race with RMX. Taylor's hurt right now, but I just think that has the sport. It's strong in our area. So, yeah. And your wife raced.
She did.
Made her first pass in RMX, and you had a GoPro camera out there and missed it. And I tried to give you the heads up.
I tried to directly blame Coy because I just heard on the radio that there was a pass happening. I didn't know it was within reach, but it wasn't. Gary thinks I can run 100 miles an hour across the facility and capture it.
I think if you would have been paying attention to your wife's moto and not just talking to the staff and distracting them anyways, like they're out there to do safety and you were out there to film. And I saw the pass coming from like a lap before. Like, I was paying attention to what Rain was doing. I watch her motos, unlike her husband. I watch. And I saw the pass coming, and I was super pumped for her because, I mean, I'm not knocking her riding skill at all, but I don't think we've made a pass on a rider unless they've been on the ground this year. So we had a moving motorcycle, and a moving motorcycle was catching it, and I was trying to tell you, like, it's happening right now.
I need a radio, Gary.
Well, anyways, so Rain made her first of many passes to come on a moving motorcycle, so I was pumped for Rain.
So there's that.
Yeah, she went 11:11 on the day, and there was 13 bikes.
And she beat the fastest woman in America on the overall.
Well, she did, and the results don't lie. Like, one of the 11s just did not start, so we didn't get one moving that week. But in one of the others, there was an 11, and there's a rider in 12th place. She passed a moving motorcycle, and you missed it.
Thanks. I'm never gonna live this down.
You shouldn't. I mean, you could have had it on film.
All right, we're going to go brush that off, go right into Pw50 Class. S.J. Jones out of Green River, Wyoming, 2-1. Levi Brace, 1-2. Shad Sweeten, 4-3. Kingston Gale, 3-5. Renner Goodenough, 5-4, 5th overall. So, yeah, pretty consistent in the top two, right? Mixing it up. There's 20 riders in the Pw class.
They want to win so bad. The little Levi Brace just went inside the orange cones right before the finish. Like, it was white flag was out. He knew he had one corner to go. Jones had the inside covered. So what do? You go inside the inside. Made the pass. Got the checker flag. Yep. But he was super cool because he came and talked to us after the moto, and he got docked for doing that. I mean, this is a 6-year-old, 7-year-old. I mean, but he acknowledged it and was sympathetic and learned from it. So I thought it was cool. But it just tells you how bad Levi wants to win. Mm-hmm. Like there was only one option to make that pass: go inside the course marker.
Right.
Like, his logic was solid. It just doesn't meet motocross rules. But I mean, what was the total? 22 PW50s out there?
Yeah, I think on this one we just got 20.
Yeah, that's just like probably the funnest part of the day. Mm-hmm. Let those little dudes put gas in their bikes, let them ride. They talk. It's just cool. That's a good group of little dudes, and there's some 4-year-olds out there. Abe, Mingo's little boy.
Yep.
Was
Cade
with
Mingo.
Yep. He was with Action for a long time, and now he's a rep with Parts Unlimited. Abe's little boy is 4 years old. Like, he they yell "stand up." Like, you can't tell.
No.
Yeah. So that's a cool group. So the P-Dubs are fun to watch.
Yeah, Brock's kid's out there. Waylon Stout went 6'9". So that little kid's been doing some training with some people, and looks like it's working out a little bit.
The cool part is the kids that their dads are out there as well. Their dads are just standing there because they know how treacherous it is, and they're just like, man, I just hope he makes it around.
Doesn't get stuck.
Yeah, right. Doesn't get stuck, and the foot pegs don't hang him up. And then the parents that are like screaming and yelling to go faster, like, you're just thinking, man, you should go ride that. Like, I think their pace is pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
I think their pace is good. They're moving. That's a positive.
All right, what do we got? Open Pro Amateur All-Stars.
Sunday's motos, the long one.
Sunday's long moto. Great Davenport 1-1. McCoy 3-2. Riley 2-3. Braxton May 4-4. And then me and Pud in their back. And then we got, you guys want to talk about that? I didn't see much of you guys because me and Pud were just, sweeping. Oh, that is the one, the radiator cap.
I was in the trailer.
No, the first
I made
one
it. I made it like the first moto, yeah.
You were behind me for a bit.
Yep.
All over me.
But yeah, my radiator cap came off again.
Blew up.
Gotta fix it
When it landed on the
eventually.
track.
Luckily, I saw it. I watched it pop off because it started steaming. So I looked down and then it just blew off. But we were only 2 laps in this time, so it wasn't that hot
There you go.
compared to last time.
I mean, this weekend, the pro numbers were down. There was a few different things going on. Wyatt Lyon-Smith, Colton Dean were both at Paula, both qualified. So the pro numbers were a little bit lean, but the amateur all-star numbers were high. And, and that kind of goes in line with Open AM, Amateur All-Star. It's the same kids every weekend. Like, a few surprises here and there, but, Casey Clinton is back. We just talked about that. So 2-1. Connor Lords, went 4-2. He's rolling pretty good. And he rode a 250 in practice. He's still racing his 125 only, but it's coming. Like, he's going to get strong and be on that 250, and watch out for him. Cam Horner had a big crash. He had went 1 in the first moto. He was leading the second moto. Crashed. Someone jumped on a Red Cross, took his crash that he would have got up from and kind of ended his moto, or he didn't get much to recover, but so he went 1-6. But it's a lot of the same kids. Gage Sagers came out of Vegas, so we usually only see them maybe at Delta and Mesquite rounds. And it was cool to see Gage and his family roll out of Henderson, Nevada, and come up and race with us. But Open Am, Amateur All-Star. It's those same kids that have been up front. On Saturday, Sophia Phelps is up there. Gabe Niederhauser is up there. On Sundays, it's a little bit different group. But there's 10 kids that they just swap every weekend.
And Hayden Morgan got a third that first moto, right behind Cam Horner and Casey Clinton. And then I think today his second moto didn't go good.
His second moto, and we've heard 2 different things. Either his foot peg got him, or his arm got between his swing arm and the chain, and it was still spinning on him because the bike is what he seems to think happened. But either way, he has a gash on an opening on his forearm that's 2 inches by an inch. It's big. I don't know how they stitched that big of an opening.
I don't know. When I got to him, you couldn't see it because of his jersey, but it was putting out some blood for sure.
Based off the way it was bleeding, based off of where it was, it looked like a compound fracture of an arm, right? And we're not messing around where it was in a bad spot, and it was hard to get the medics to. So Checker and Red, flew. Like, we were, and we, as the medical team is taking care of Hayden, we were on the radios determining, where we were at. We had completed 5 of the 8 laps, so that was it. We don't restart that. That's the end of the moto. We had done half the laps, and I was proud of our crew for getting that shut down so quick, because the yellow flag started to fly. A radio call came in of what we were dealing with, and luckily for Hayden, it ended up being stitches only. Yeah. But it sure looked like a compound fracture of, and that's something that, with. It's just we needed to get that shut down. We needed to get him to an ambulance as quick as possible. So we red flagged that, and Braden Hyde on the finish line did a phenomenal job of throwing the red and the checker just so kids knew to stop. And the medical team got to him quick, and sounds like stitches worked out, or lots of stitches. But again, Hayden was riding well. So
he was moving.
Yeah, it was really cool for him.
And then Deegan Gale, another one, went 6th in DNS. I saw his earlier moto. He was, like always, just right up in there cruising. I don't know exactly. I didn't see him or what happened. Or
I think his did not start. It's just getting home. I mean, they're all the way back to
Getting on the road.
Cedar City. Yeah, I think they rode first motos and took off, but Deegan is moving.
Yeah, he is. That was the second thing that I saw going back to earlier when I said Luke Daniels was my first thing, was Jesse James and Deegan Gale going at it in the C class hard. Like, it was really, really good racing. It was.
Right. This guy, are they in that one?
Yeah. Yep. So, and they even split motos. Deegan Gale 2-1, Jesse James 1-2. I just watched them. They were just going so hard at each other the whole, like, they couldn't break away from each other at all. So I just thought that was just something that I saw while I was out on the track, cruising around, watering, doing different things, and it's fun to watch.
If you were to kind of go with that and look at the C-Class side of it, Deegan Gale, Summer Series finished 4th in the points. North Series finished 3rd in the points. Didn't maybe have the early April, March rounds that were super positive, but he won the Triple Crown. So that kind of goes to show you how he built speed from spring to now, because overall in points he didn't get either championship, but he got the Triple Crown. The last 4 when in theory when everyone's up to speed, it shows that Deegan was healthy and going fast because he got the Triple Crown. Dayton Stott was 2nd. Bryson Batt was 3rd. Brax Morgan was 4th. And unfortunately for Brax, a lot of bike issues. He rides a 125 hard.
Yes, he does.
And he just wrings its neck. And he had some motor problems at Loretta's where I think he just works the bike hard. And he did it again here, his bike. He just melted that thing down. But those C-Motos, they're impressive. And those are kids that are going to fill our gate, B riders next year. Gale, Stott, Batt, Brax Morgan, Braden Davis, Laker Sampson. Like Parker's brought his little brother out. That's super cool.
Is he going to be just like Parker here? Is he just going to get even like twice as fast next year and the year after that twice as fast and just big steps?
And it's not just like Parker. It's just like their dad. You have to meet Justin and then it all makes sense.
Yeah.
Like there is one speed for Justin and it's fast. So it's cool to have that family out here. So Laker's out racing with us. So this is 450C through 17. So this is the younger age group of kids. Brax Morgan, Batt, Gale, Stott, Moses. That's the group of kids that we saw. So it'll be kind of fun to see some of those kids go into the B class next year. But there's a lot of speed in the C class, and they go at it. You're right. If Brax if he wouldn't have had the bike issues, and you throw him into that Gale, Jesse James mix-up, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
Can we talk about Parker Sampson for a second?
We can always talk about Parker Sampson.
Is there anyone that doesn't like that guy? He's great. I just want to talk about his first moto today. He goes to throw a no-footer over the finish line. And you would think a guy like him who does that many no-footers would have them dialed. I don't know what went wrong, but he went full Superman to flat. And then he just disappeared, and then I saw him ride off. And then next moto, him and Sam, he kind of fell and he twisted his bars, and so he rolled the rollers in the back, the big ones. And then he sees Sam coming. He jumps the jump, sees Sam and goes, "Oh crap! I thought I had more room," and just wide open launches the finish line all the way off of the track. And I filmed it. There's like 100-yard skid mark into the banners after the finish line where he just was Is that the most Parker thing ever, right? Just sending it everywhere.
The young man that was on the finish line for us, this is only his second time on the finish line. He has a radio on, and literally he commented like, some guy just did a no-footer and almost crashed. It was like, no, it's no big deal. It's Parker.
It's Parker.
It's just Parker. Like,
that's what he does.
It's just Parker.
Oh.
Yeah.
God.
We were just talking 450C through 17. 450C 18 plus. Jordan Batt won all 3 classes, North, South, and Triple Crown. So in that 18 plus, it's kind of cool to look at some of these names. Jordan Batt won all 3 classes. Jaden Baldwin. Like in the Baldwin family, everyone knows Jace goes fast, but little Jaden finished second in some classes. Briar Hansen was up there. Brandon Haight, Tucker Haywood, your top 5, on the south side of it. So it is cool to see some of these names that we don't talk about all the time. But now that we're wrapping up a season, it is cool to see, who's where, and Bat, Jorgensen, Baldwin, Hokinson on the Triple Crown side. So, but you have to hand it to Jordan Bat, my bad, threw an extra R in there. Jordan, going out and winning North, South, and the Triple Crown.
And their whole family races, right?
Yeah, Brandon races, everyone but Mom, but she's got to deal with 4 of them. So, yeah, she's got 4 racers every weekend, and they come out and support and bring Grandma and Grandpas and a big family and camp out. So it's cool to have them. And Jordan qualified for Loretta's this year and then won all 3 of those classes. So it's cool for him.
Yeah, killer.
So, yeah.
All right. I guess that's a wrap for the pressing round. And what do we got coming up, Gary? We got Moto 86. We got state races, arena cross. Starting with what's next is Idaho, or actually Delta, Utah state race.
Well, what's next is, Utah State Championship, so AMA sanctioned with number 1 plates. All the info's on the website. Check that out because it's at Bunker Hill. So we're back to Bunker Hill in the fall.
Everyone's favorite track.
I would like to think so. Yeah, that's a cool place to race dirt bikes. The following weekend is the Idaho State Championship. Same thing, AMA sanctions, number 1 plates. And we're going to try to be more centrally located. We've done that at Rupert, and we've done it at Idaho Falls. But the majority of Idaho's population's in Boise. So we're going to go to Skyline.
Killer complex facility.
Yep, we want to get a good turnout, so we've mixed it up a little bit. We went with Saturday practice, Sunday race. It's, you don't have to take Friday off work. So Saturday practice will start a little bit later, so even if you're driving a distance, you won't have to stress. Registration will be open early. Practice won't start till 9 or so, and you'll get a good day of practice in on Saturday, and a 2-moto format AMA plates on Sunday. So Idaho State Championship right in Western Power Sports Fly's backyard, so that's cool. Someone told me that weekend is the Western Power Sports dealers ride at that track right at Western. So this gives the opportunity maybe for some of the dealers to get a ride in one day and come race with us another. So both of those are going down, and then schedules are out for Moto 86, which is our winter series in Mesquite. Schedules out for the Thanksgiving Classic, which is growing into a true amateur national event, so you need to pay attention to that one.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Come spend Thanksgiving down there. It's a good time.
Yeah, that is, to me, that's the most elite level event that we put on. And then winter series dates, Golden Spike Event Center. Watch for those to be released next week. We've been working with Golden Spike to expand that into Sunday. We've always, wrapped that up on Friday nights and Saturdays, and the nights are cold. Like they're real cold. And so we're going to look at doing Saturday racing and Sunday morning racing. Try not to race so much at night. Being there at 11 o'clock at night and the sun's been down, it's cold. It's real cold. So.
It's not just your typical gnarly arena cross. It's very youth friendly. Yeah, kids love it. It's a big turnout. Kids like racing under the lights and their families in the stands. It's a cool atmosphere. It's definitely good to get your kids out there and get them involved in that sort of thing.
Yeah, if that is the complete that is the feeder system for RMX, in my opinion. We've had more families come through there. I mean, Dave Geek found us with some indoor arena cross, and Sawyer Geek. The Daniels found us through arena cross. So just to name a few. So if you're new to the sport and you want to, or you have friends that are new to the sport, this is the perfect opportunity. I mean, anywhere on the Wasatch Front, an hour on a Saturday morning, you're there. It's just a good setup. So, yeah, those are all set up. Mesquite will be open first part of October. We have Works set up there, Works Racing, in late October. And then the complete schedule all the way through March, including the RMX opener, which will be March 5th, 6th, 7th weekend. That's already on the schedule. So I feel like we're way ahead on our scheduling this year. So we're excited.
Yeah, everything's out. Check social media. You can find the state races for Idaho and Utah. All the Mesquite rounds are already out, and the arena cross stuff will be out maybe in a week or two. And yeah, so just pencil all that stuff in, and that's it. That's a wrap on the 2021 series. Anything else you want to say, Gary?
Oh, just thank you for having us. This has been fun.
Yeah, killer. Thanks, everybody.
Sweet.